Okay, just a little update. My little plant, it is just so happy. Sooner or later, I'm going to have to put it in a new pot. And since you guys know that I do juicing, kind of like I make the juice and Rich drinks the juice. So grab your ball. You don't get to sit down right out of the gate. I want you to just pull your ball to you, get in. And so we're opting for the ball today instead of the sticks. Okay. And you're getting into that nice little swivel. The ball is pulled in close to you, knowing that as you pull that ball in, try to glide your shoulder blades back. And then I've stopped, but I hope you've continued to move. Sometimes what happens is the spine kind of does this. I don't know if you can tell, but my hips are forward thrusting, and that's actually putting a little pinch in the low back. So be real mindful to not let the hips push through. You want to pull your abs in and pelvic tilt while you're holding the ball. And I know that at times, even as I'm giving the instruction, and there's so much of a repetitive thought to a handful of the cues, is that it might seem like I'm overdoing certain statements, but I find that if I'm doing it, chances are you might be making the same compensation. So though this seems like this innocent little sweep of the ball, it's so much more than that. Take your shoulders, push them down, glide them back. Where is your head now sitting in relation to the shoulders? Pull it back, zip up through the belly, try to swivel the legs beyond that little comfort stop zone. Go beyond, go beyond, go beyond. Even if you wobble, it's all good. And now, if you can do more, move the hands, right? So that now you're holding the ball, mindful of all of the adjustments you just made. And now, as we take the ball around, you will actually be able to go further, right? Let the arms travel with the ball, see how much rotation you can get. And if your trailing leg, the butt cheek, is firing up, that will help you swivel and stay in control. If you want more, you're going to up sweep the ball, right? Try not to knock into your light fixtures or ceiling fans. Pull it up, pull it up, pull it up. Take the ball, push through the other side. Up, 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 up. Pause, swish the ball down, bring it up. Oh, here we go. One more. Squeeze the glute, swish down, pull it up. And if your top, if your roof, your ceiling is hindering you, then hopefully you just kept your arms bent. All right, here we go. That's it. That's an extra one. And now come and have a little seat on your ball. I want you to think rag doll roll down, and I'm going to be in profile sit just to help you get the full visual. So our legs get to stay nice and bent. If I did not put my mat down, so if you find that your feet are really causing the problem and you can't get comfortable on the ball, then put your mat down so you have some traction. Okay. Ragdoll roll down, pull the middle body back, and then relax the neck and shoulders. You're looking down and you're just going to let your body be guided down. If this feels like it's too much, put your elbows on your thighs. If you can reach fingers to the floor, once you get them there, drive the hips back, pull the ball forward, keep your spine really rounded, elbows to thighs if you need the extra little assist to get up. Once you get all the way up, reach, peel the body off this imaginary wall behind you. So you're in this ragdoll roll down. Down you go, down you go, down you go. Hopefully your fingers will touch the floor. Drive the ball back, pull the ball forward, hand or elbow to thigh, work yourself up. Now, if you can't get your legs like really extended, that just means you got your bottom too far back on the ball. So if you'll move your hips forward, this will free up your forward roll. And that's the next thing. Push the hips back, roll down, pull up. We're going to change it. Push the hips back, roll down. Before you roll up, re-bend the legs and pull up. Ready? Push the hips back, roll down, bend the legs so everything slides through and roll up. Now, this may seem like, well, why is she doing it this way? Stay in your forward roll for a second, bend your legs, keep letting your hips come forward. Use your arms to like brace those legs open and then roll up. We're getting ready to incorporate an inner thigh stretch here. Roll down. I just want you to get the feeling of using your arms to pry those legs apart. And now this time as you come up, you're going to stop. I'm going to face you now. So you've rolled up, okay? You were using your arms to pry your knees open, and now we're coming up a little bit higher. The elbows are still going to push along the insides of the knees. If your elbows sit on top of your legs, they do nothing for you. Push, get in, open them up. Can you spread your feet enough so that when you drive the knees open, you're able to take one hand open, the other fisted, draw the knuckles into the palm, and then pull your hands towards you. And now you've got a really good brace. So this open hand, close it around the other fist. Look at your hand from your elbow to your wrist to the other elbow. Pull the arms to you until you get a straight line. And then we get to glide. Oh, say hello to the adductor, right? And if your back is all rounded, okay, that's something that we can work on, but I would like to see you extend your trunk so that you're trying to be in S curve while your hands are pulling towards your we'll say right into your ribs, okay? And you just maybe looking down, you're looking to see if your hands are straying out of the line of the elbows. Hopefully you haven't like slid off your ball yet. And now draw to the center, release the arms, and with the legs nice and wide, you should feel this stretch line through the hip. How do we go right into our hip flexor? Very tricky. Okay, back your feet up. Okay, now I'm going to raise up. Predominantly, the ball is going to rest under one bun. As I face you, this is going to seem like my body is kind of really distorted and not tracking in a true line. It can't track in a straight line because my ball is too big. So I just separate the trailing leg and I'm finding the sit position where the ball isn't pushing into the other thigh. So you just wiggle around until you feel like you have enough support so that when you descend into the ball, you feel a nice little pull right here. Okay, so what is your spine likely doing? Excessive S, because that's just what happens when we push our leg back. So take your hips, pull the hips into pelvic tilt, which may cause this leg to bend. It's okay. Pelvic tilt, zip up, draw the ribs down, and now the arm that goes with that trailing leg, just put it up. If you're really uncomfortable on the ball, switch to your chair, right? The arm is up, the arm is down. The arm is up, the arm is down. As the arm goes up, I want you to hinge it, okay? Take it up, keep pelvic tilting. I don't want you to feel it through your low back, right? Why are we adding the hinge? The hinge gets the tricep, the lat, down the body, even though it's really subtle. The stretch is predominantly at the hip flexor, but creating this long line, right? Here's something that I've just done. Your eyes saw it, but did your body go, oh yeah, like that might feel better? If this arm, when it comes up, flails away from you, then you're going to take your other arm, you're going to guide the elbow up, both arms lift up atop of the head and sweep. Keep pelvic tilting, pull it up, inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Don't you love it? Now, release. Push out of it. Learn how to manipulate yourself on your ball where you're not scared, right? You can always stand up. That I keep trying to incorporate a little bit more and more with the ball because having us adapt to this instability is really good training for your body. Our body, the less shocked our body is by like little movements, the more likely, in my humble opinion, the more likely you'll be able to avert a fall. All right. So if we get you conditioned to like feeling uncomfortable in a controlled environment, then if you happen to trip over something, the ability to recover from that uninjured is more likely. There. It should be happening nice and gentle, pelvic tilt, right? What also might be happening is something along the ankle and foot line. Because you can't see my foot, I hope that when you look back at your foot, you'll see that the toes are really pulled under and being used as like this brace point to help you fire up your bun and zip and tuck. Settling in, ribs are down, get ready. Sweep the arm up. Ah, feels so good. I'm going to do something very wrong and I want you to spot it. And when you see me do it, I want you to then go, oh, well, that's probably like you're looking at it going, what's wrong with that? Because that's what my arm's doing. If your arm is hooking over you, okay, then we're going to correct that. You want to reach and hinge without the hand coming across to the other shoulder, right? So big stretch, guide, pull back. Ideally, this palm would touch the back of the same shoulder, not reach across you. Pull it up, belly to spine, squeeze the bun, use your arms, maybe both arms travel, and then assist. Do 3 more. Inhale, exhale, squeeze the belly to spine. Inhale. You're pausing, you're exhaling, you're lining up the tracking of your arm. Release, do 1 more. Inhale. You're holding it long enough up here to get your exhale and release. Ease out of that. Whew. Okay. So we're going to use the ball instead of the chair. Okay. Don't be scared. It doesn't matter how big your ball is, right? But I hope I hope you know that you can just go and use a fixed object if you feel really uncomfortable on the ball. So whether it's the seat of your chair, your coffee table, your sofa, what you're going to do is you're going to use the ball like it's your chair. So feet comfortably wide. I've got mine wider than hip width. Okay. And all you're going to do is walk the ball forward. And as you're walking forward, see how my legs are staying a little bit soft? I'm pushing the arms out. Say hello to your hamstrings. And now there is a built-in stop point where then it's like your downward dog. Your head is just going to slide right between the arms. Keep your legs bent to start until you figure out how receptive your body is going to be to the ball. Pull the belly in, start bringing the ball back to you. Back up. So if your ball is really small, then you might find that you're still a little bit crouched over, right? My ball is allows me to have fingertips on it and good body alignment. So now my hamstrings feel pretty good. I don't need to keep my knees soft because I know my hamstrings and my low back, they're quite limber. So I'm going to do this stiff-legged, stiff-armed, walk it out. The more your spine is rounded, that's your indicator that you need to bend your legs, because that's the only way you're going to be able to control S curve, right? So you reach a stop point with the fingers pushing the ball as far away as you can. You're loaded in your heels, and then the head floats down between the arms. And now that you're here, you can let your palms rest on the ball. And you can, it's about 2 to 3 inches of kind of rolling the ball forward. You're not moving your hands, so you're not having to walk your fingertips forward. You're pressing into the ball. You let your body just rock forward. Maybe it's only an inch, so you feel more loaded in your toes, but the stretch will increase through the armpits and shoulders and triceps, okay? And now as you pull back, now you're heel heavy. And you're forward pushing belly to spine. The spine is hopefully an S curve. If you're like, no, mine's actually still in C, then bend your legs so that you can shove your fanny back and do the roll that way. And as you come back out of this next push position, I want you to walk the ball to you. Pull yourself all the way up. Can you take that ball and just pull it into the legs firm enough so that now the knees have the ball? You just don't want it rolling willy-nilly, okay? So my knees are like bookends against this ball. Squeeze it, squeeze buns, pull the belly in. Guess where we're going with this? Now your body is pushing forward. See how I just drove my hips forward of my feet? All right, squeeze the ball, okay? Raise the arms up, look up. Let the head kind of just follow the gaze, right? Following the ceiling. Your arms, you can see them. The hips are pushing. Your body is bowed. Your buns are tight. Your abs are in. Sometimes it's okay to have compression. We do cobras, that puts the compression on. But the thing is, you want to make sure that your derriere is fixed and fired up. And now keep your abs engaged. Let the body float out of it. Hands to the ball, walkie, 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 stiff leg or bent leg. You should now know what your body needs. So one hand stays on the ball, the other arm is going, yay, I get something to do. Reach for the opposite foot. Maybe it's only the knee you can touch. All right? Can you get fingertips to big toe? Pull up. As you switch hands, even if your legs are bent, right? You can try it. If your hand is way away from making contact with the floor or the knee or the foot, then you bend your legs, bend, 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 and try to connect somewhere along that opposite leg. Pull up. Now, what if it's not so much the challenge of getting hand to foot? What if it's the shoulder on the arm that's still on the ball? What if that is like overwhelmingly discomfort, right? Then move that arm, because you can travel that ball out to the side while you're touching your toes, whether your legs are bent or straight, and bring yourself back up. So let's revisit. This is the last one. As you come into this stretch, because the hand that's on the ball is in towards the midline of the body, that may be too much for your shoulder. So if it is, move the ball to the side and you will find yourself liberated and having a greater ability at successfully doing this without pain, right? Pull the ball back to the center, walk the ball in, bend your legs. I want you to push that ball in and then stand up with those knees squeezing the ball. Tighten your parts. Shoulders down. Start raising the arms. Let the head gently float back. Your eyes are open. You kind of have your palms turned into each other and the arms are comfortably wide. You're receiving something fabulous, so be excited about it. This is your great stretch. Hip thrust forward, bow the body back. Don't let the hands close into each other. Leave them wide. Coming out of it, coming out of it it might even leave you like a little bit, for me, I consider it like a circulation flush. So I like feel my body in a different sensory. It almost feels like a little bit of a high when I come out of a movement that's really big and expressive. Move the ball. Grab your book. Grab your book, maybe a little swig of water. All right. If you saw the exercise snack I did posted yesterday, it was me essentially playing pickleball against that wall. And Lori and Q, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, what did I say? Book. I have started posting on Instagram and Facebook, well, and sharing with my YouTube channel, these little 1, 3, 4, 5-minute little exercise snacks. And they always have, they're something silly and funny, but so far, most of everything I've done has incorporated a ball for some reason. So if you have a mirror, it's very helpful to at least start by trying to see that your book isn't starting cockeyed, and then take your hands away. As much as I love doing the book training, I always feel like I'm just one little movement shy of having it slide off my head. So now try not to run into your exercise partner. You're free to roam, move about your space. La-di-da. Okay. So the slower you move, chances are the more control you'll have. And I just want you to take a few steps and then be prepared to slowly change your direction so that you go back to your start place, going the other way. Belly to spine, shoulders down. This becomes really, it allows you this awareness for where is your chin sitting. And the more unnatural this feels, it's because the majority of your day, your head is in the wrong place in relation to the rest of your body. So now, come into your space. Doesn't matter if your feet are together. I generally put mine together. You're going to take your fingers, put them on your chin, and I want you to use your fingers pushing against your chin. Try to drive your chin back. And as you drive your chin back, tuck your fanny under you and pull your abs in. Driving the chin back, which might seem excessive. And then don't take your hands off your chin. Just let the chin go back to where, if you stop contracting your buns, right, the hips will probably tip forward. You'll get a little crimp along your back and the head will probably shoot forward a little bit. So now it's like you're stacking your parts. Push back, zip and tuck through the buns. You will immediately feel your weight shift in your feet a little bit. Squeeze the buns so tight that you feel like your inner thighs are pushing into each other. And I can't bend over, I'll lose the book, but I want you, as you squeeze, I want you to feel like your knees are pushing back and the hips are tucking under, the ribs are settling down, and the chin lines up. Isn't that just the most awkward? Like, how would you walk around like that all day? You wouldn't. That's why we just spend a little bit of time doing it now. Release the hands, walk around your space. So today is mobility, flow, and balance. The balance part of this, we're going to incorporate some of our book training. In the event you are having to keep one hand kind of just holding the book from, bracing, holding the book from falling off your head, then I would maybe take the book away for the balance work. So you're walking back into the stop position. How close can you get heel and toe alignment, right? Can we now reset all of what we practiced a moment ago? Fingers to chin, push the chin back, zip and tuck through the buns, tucked, abs in, shoulders down, chin drawn. Now, can you maintain that? Taking the hands away, palms are forward. What is required of you to tiptoe? I don't mean walk tiptoed, I mean just drive up to your tiptoes and down. If you find that your eyes are kind of wandering up or down, try to stare straight forward, right? Shoulders back, belly pulls up, right? And release. If you have no idea if your belly is actually pulling up when I give the cue, you can put your hands along the front abdomen, and when you pull your belly up, you will feel your ab mass draw in, but it shouldn't have anything to do with you. Pulling your belly in is not air sipping, all right? It's an internal draw in that has nothing to do with your breath cycle. That is one of the hardest things as an instructor to teach, because we often correlate breath and ab work. They're two different things. Release and relax. You're not done. Remember which foot you have forward. You're going to walk around your space. And when you come back, you're going to shift to the other leg. So do you have to stay in a slow walk? No. Make any adjustment you need to do with your little book, right? You can walk as fast as you can control the book. You can take short little steps. You can take stride little steps. You can get your hips swishing. Can I tell you that the more lower body movement or even arm movement that you incorporate with your walking, the greater the challenge is, right? Now, come back to your place. The funny thing is I always forget which leg I had forward, but I think I'd have to hit the replay. Which one feels, yeah, I probably had it that way. Okay, shoulders back. Yeah, this definitely feels awkward. Shoulders back, chin tucked, zip and tuck. It won't matter because you guys aren't keeping tabs on me. So once you get your chin tucked and the belly in, right, and your buns tight, you're going to release your arms. You're going to post up to tiptoes. Just staying on your tiptoes creates this little, like, it's almost like a trimmer through the body because those muscles are firing up. Touch down. Ooh, we only had to touch down because my front calf cramped up. I didn't want you to see me cry. Ready? Do it again. Chin tuck, zip and tuck, pull up, pull up, pull up. Feel your knees pull into each other, right? 5, 4. Why is it so hard to stay on our tiptoes? 3, 2, release. Just for the sake of more balance work, can you pull in an alternating leg? This is ab work, standing ab work. Every time the leg lifts up, you're incorporating hip flexor, right? But also the phenomenal abdominal region from the belly button down. So now that you know that, as you lift your leg, The higher your knee gets, the more I want you to pull your navel through to the spine. And from a balance standpoint, can you hold? Maybe, maybe not. Navel to spine. Can you take this part of your waistline and can you decrease that by getting the hip higher and then down? It looks really awkward, right? Maybe you're like, oh crap. I could do it until we had to hold it. Go put your hand on something and maybe you have to take the book off your head, pull the leg up. We're not satisfied with the foot just coming off the floor. So if you need hand assist, do it. As you pull this knee higher, remember to tuck the chin, pull the navel in, try to take your hip. Lift the hip like you're pinching this mass over here on your body. And now this glute that you're standing on is firing up. Do one more each leg, right? Here we go. Chin is tucked. You're standing tall. Start the hip push, right? Start lifting the knee, lift the knee, lift the knee. It seems really awkward and cockeyed to the point where these muscles are definitely responding. Hold that. Take the butt cheek that you're standing on, fire it up, class. Bring it down. Whew, you have one more. All of these little movements, you're like, why is this even relevant? You have this big group of muscles called your QL, right? They get weak and tight just like everything else. As the hip kind of slides off center, this stance leg is now the load part. So your glute is firing up. Where's your chin? And release. Take the book away. Whew. Yay, we made it through that unscathed. All right, little drink if you want. We are going to incorporate our chair. So though we could do this on the ball, I think some of it should be done on the chair, okay? All right, chair into the equation. Once we get off this chair, we're going to be going to the floor, okay? So here's where we're going. Think piriformis. How much, which angle do you need to have yourself? Do you actually need your chair for support as you lay your leg up? Or are you super skilled and you just lay your leg up? Okay. See how opened up my frame is right now? My body's way away from my foot, so this angle is quite large. And depending on how tight you are through your hips, let's do this on the other leg as well. Use your chair rest, right? Just you getting this knee to open out, being able to find the right height for the foot dictates how much stretch we're getting. So if you're really tight, this will be as far as you need to go. Go back to leg number one. If you're not so tight, then you're going to shove your hips back. And as we start drawing our nice flat spine towards the thigh, the stretch should start revealing itself. Come up, other leg. I hope the transition from one leg to the next isn't frustrating you, right? Here we go. Lengthen, draw the chin, take the hips, gliding the hips back, your body tips forward, and then a nice gentle pull through that outer thigh. Come up. Fluidity, mobility, flow, and balance, right? If you're using your chair, the rest, the backing, right? Maybe you had to slide your chair towards a wall or a countertop, right? Maybe it's that you're using the coffee table or an ottoman or you're facing your sofa. I don't know what your working environment is, but if you're more challenged through the balance aspect. I'm just going to keep going with this one. Right, here we go. Can you get your fingers? Do you need your fingers to touch the chair? If you feel the stretch just by having your body here, stay here. I'm trying to work you through a progression of figuring out where is your stretch zone. So if you got your foot up and you've got your hands on your chair and you're kind of being braced and that's still not enough, then start scooting the stance foot back because you're getting ready to bend that leg. And somewhere along the line from being straight leg to bent leg, you will find the angle that gives you the stretch that feels like, okay, now I know what we're after. And you just hold for 5 and 4, 3, 2. Use your arms, push yourself out of it, back up. Even if you didn't get to that degree, don't worry about it. This is all about what your degree is, right? Here we go. Other side. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Oh. So my left hip has more give in it than my right one. And I can get my right knee to the floor and have my left leg supported, and I'm okay. I definitely feel the stretch running. I actually feel the stretch running all the way through the gently through the hip and down this lateral line through the knee, but it's a stretch feeling, not a strain feeling. That's it. Bolster yourself up. If you've come down to the floor, flex the foot so that you can use that powerful leg to help you up and push out of it. Move your chair, grab your mat. As you come down to the floor, I want to make sure that you get your little stretch out strap too, okay? All right. Mobility, flow, and balance does not mean 60 minutes of stretch time. It just means that we're not doing low impact and toning, okay? But what we are going to do is we're going to incorporate some of our back strengthening. We're going to incorporate a little bit of coordinated ab work. Having a pillow or a towel handy for your head support, right, is always a good practice. Strap. We're going to start off with a little bit of our ab work, right? How do you want to come down to the floor? I don't know. There we go. That was pretty good. Okay. Abs and strap. How do we do that? Tuck your support for your head under. Get your body situated. And now, phase 1. I've just taken my strap and I've folded it. You could use a towel that you've twisted so there's not a whole bunch of towel hanging. And you now get to manipulate. However, it may not be pretty, okay? You're going to pick up your head, tuck your chin, roll your shoulders off the floor, and you're going to figure out how do you get your legs around and through the strap. Whichever leg was the first leg in needs to be the first leg out, and then relax. Next rep, pick up your head, pull your knees up, leg number 2 leads, push it around, push it around. This kind of flailing of the legs, I'm showing you that because that might be the only chance you have at getting your legs around the strap. So you figure out, what do you have to do with your arms? Keep going this time, right? What do you have to do with your arms in order to get the legs out? Do you need to put your head down between each time that you get your legs through the strap? If you're just lifting your head and you're kind of looking at the ceiling and you're not focusing on where your feet and the strap are, you are going to feel a fatigue in your neck. So I want your chin rolled in towards the chest. And now phase number 2 for a little bit harder, shoot the legs out, pull them in, both legs go in and out at the same time. Push, pull, sweep over the feet, release. You're incorporating more stretch, or I should say more activation, right? By doing both legs at the same time. And then as you go into the completed phase, if you want to take your arms and stretch them back and have your legs at an angle, you're loaded, you're not resting. Pull, pull, pull. Here's where you might rest. Release it. Push. Do one more. Whatever version you're capable of right now, this is it right here. You're going to finish. Release, relax, set your strap down, give your legs a well-deserved hug. If you want to take, I was just getting ready to do a tight wrap, but it would probably feel better to have each hand holding its knee and just stir in the pot. Reverse circle. There we go. Your body's forgetting what just happened to it 30 seconds ago, okay? Now, touchdown. I find it really interesting that we can work our back and condition our abs at the same time. So this is not upper back work. This is going to be low back strengthening 101. Legs up, which seems like ab work, right? Because anytime your feet are off the floor and you're holding the weight of your legs up, your abs are firing up. What's going to be important here is for you to tuck your chin, settle in through the spine so you feel like right, left hip, right shoulder, left shoulder, neck is long, the head is squared up, and you're looking at your feet. As you look at your feet, do you see your feet because your knees have flopped out to the side? Think about how wide are your shoulders, how wide are your hips. Put the knee frame so that everything is tracking in line with the width of the body. And that also means where are your feet? The direction that your knees flop controls the angle of the feet. So we don't want knee flop. You want your toes only high enough for you to see them and the knees over the hips. Your conditioning movement has already started just by you trying to get into the proper track line. Pull your navel down into your body. And as soon as you do that, you should feel more pressure pulling your back to the mat. And if you're tuned in to your phenomenal abdominals, the part of the ab from the belly button down, you should have felt those muscles fire up for you. So now the abs are engaged because your back is firmly to the floor. Your knees are over your hips. Guess what? I know you're getting tired of hearing me chatter, but this is what's required of your setup. Chin tuck, you see your toes. Push one foot forward. Fully extend that leg. Hopefully the other leg did not move. That's the challenge. Pull leg number 1 back. Pause. Engage, abs in so you feel your spine connect. Lower the legs just enough to see the tips of your toes. Leg number 2 pushes out. Tighten it. Squeeze the buns. Raise the arms up. Pull leg number 2 in. And now, push out leg number 1. I want you to take the arm that goes with that straight leg, put it on the thigh of the other leg, pull that other leg to you, but make your arm resist it. Bring it in. Ready? Leg number 2 extends. Where has the foot on leg number 1 gotten to? It's tightly bent and your toes are in your sight line. Here we go. Opposite hand to that bent leg. Push the hand into the leg, pull the leg into the hand so that you're holding a constant tension. Back is flat, navel is drawn in, and you should feel your muscles trembling. Pull the leg in, release and relax. And now a well-earned cobra. Roll it over. Okay, take your time, settle in. Rocking the hips side to side. Lengthening the legs. You want the tops of the feet flat to the floor. Spread the hands as wide as the mat is. Get the shoulders out of the ears. Tuck your chin. Squeeze your buns and push the elbows from the floor. Oh, look at your elbow. Is your arm bowed out? Look from right to left. Are the elbows floating out so that they're pointed to the side walls? Saying, how did she know that? Well, guess what? That's because you haven't retracted and depressed your shoulder blades. So as soon as you glide your shoulders down away from your ears, you're going to try to roll the elbows so that the inside crease line lines up with the other one. It should make you feel like you're dialed in and you're stretched and that you're not straining. This is a resting position here. Keep trying to pull the elbows towards each other and then set them down. And then relax the rest of your spine. So bring one ear to the towel. Now, I said towel. Okay, the thing is as I wear this mic, I'm actually not able to get my ear flat to the floor because of the mic. And so you might not need your towel. I need my towel just so I can keep my mic from hitting the floor. So this is going to be, you decide, do you want the towel because your neck needs support? Or can you do it with your face flat on your mat? And then you're going to work your arms down, turn the palms up, pick up your head, turn the head the other way. Oh, did your whole body have to shift and now you're not flat anymore? The hips are cockeyed because your neck is that tight? Try to bring the hips back to squared position, even though you haven't turned your head. Okay, so you're figuring out where your stress line is. Maybe what's required of you is to rock your hips side to side and just let your body settle in. This is a very passive way to do a neck stretch, but it doesn't seem like it's passive. Gravity is working in your favor right now. Ready? Pick up the head. First, you squeeze your buns. Raise the chest from the floor. This is built-in back extension work because you're lifting the chest as you turn your head, turn your head, turn your head, really turn it, and then settle everything back down. Rock the hips, take the pressure off. You have one more, okay? So you're going to stop the hip rock, tighten your buns, peel your upper body away from the floor, turning, 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 turning. Pull the shoulders out of the ears as you keep turning and settle down. Reset the rocking of the hips. So I want your hips to stop, and I want you to try to slide your hands into the small of the back. And you're going to just let the hands overlap and let the elbows float to the floor. You ready? Squeeze the buns, pick up the head. You're lifted, Look down at your towel or your mat. Just hold here. Shoulders, pull them away from the floor a little bit. Keep your chest up. You're still looking at the floor. You're just holding. Keep your chest up. We're going to take the arms and I want you to slide them forward. Hopefully you can reach them to the width of the mat. I have like my third finger touching the side edge of the mat. Okay, so third finger, index finger, and thumb on the mat. Fourth finger, pinky off the mat. Fingers are spread. And now I want you to press into the hands to lengthen and take some of the workload off of your back. So the arms are holding you, your chin is in neutral. It's like you're in Superman or Superwoman holding position. Squeeze the derriere, get the shoulders out of the ears, push into the hands. And now sweep the arms nice and far, bring them around. Do these circles with your arms. So your head is maintaining its neutral position. Your spine is lifted, right? Or I should say the chest is lifted and the arms are just tracing these circles around your space. As the arms get kind of off the high end to the mid-range, lift the chest a little bit higher, because knowing that you get to reach forward and come down a little bit, right? Start the big circle, peel yourself off the floor, peel, 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 bend your arms, pause. The arms are bent right by the sides of your chest, but wide, okay? And from here, bend your legs. Squeeze your buns, shoulders out of the ears. Can you push? Can you lower? That's it. Side sit. Whew. We just snuck a little push-up in there. Now, what if your push-up wasn't clean? What if your body listed to one side? What if you tried to initiate the push and you're like, yeah, that's a no-go? You tried. That's all you can do today, right? So I'm going to prop my hip up. Right? Now, I want you to consider this. See where these legs are? Can we move this forward leg so that it moves right under this other leg? That's the hard part. Tricky, tricky. And as soon as you do that, you should feel a very strange but effective stretch happening along this side. So here's where you were. This leg stays put because that's the guide, okay? Push it under. Stack the two parts. Try to get your knees even, right? Feet even. And then we're going to take our body, give some good support with that arm. This space between where the hand and the hip is, we're going to call that threading the needle, right? So you're pushed up, hand, follow it. As soon as this arm starts coming down and you start reaching through the other arm, tell me that's just not a great stretch. This is part and another version of our QL stretch. So you're threading the needle, however you can get there, and then reset. Lift and breathe. Make sure this shoulder isn't sucking up to the ear. Prop and brace yourself up. Inhale, navel to spine. Look down, watch the hand, twist. Keep pushing that hand into the floor while you try to get the hand to go through the hole. And release. Easy does it. That was massive end range stretching. Offset the legs for a moment. Float your body to this other direction. Raise the arm. This might not be comfortable either. Maybe you got to go like that. Still another stretch, right? So there's a lot of components that merge in this junction, okay? Switch sides. Perhaps you've heard of the TFL, the piriformis, sciatic, right? QL, IT band. I mean, there's a lot happening over there. It should be no surprise why that part of our body has some massive restriction to it. So if you're not propped up on something, don't worry about it. I just find for me that it helps me find a better sit position. So here we go. This leg, I already know based on how I feel just sitting here with this prop that it's not going to be pretty. So this trailing leg is providing the right angle for us. You're going to slide this forward leg under, trying to get as close to that good angle as you started. And now, oof, lining up the knees, right? Lining up the feet, smack those knees down. Where is your hand? The hand essentially is in line with the hip, right? Fingers turned out, and you're propping yourself up. You'll know if you're too far away because you won't feel a stretch. As soon as you get that hand in the right zone, you'll feel like you've got this great ability to just hold yourself up. If you're really, really tight, then this is as far as you need to go in your stretch. Lift, push into the floor, get your shoulders out of your ears, pull the belly in because we don't want to leave our body unchecked. And the hand and the shoulder, you're twisting, thread the needle, thread the needle. Oh, release, lift and breathe. Pull through. Push that hand into the floor, twist the body. That stretch should just feel like it's pulling all of those muscle fibers across the back of the hip through the waistline, right? Release. Let's do one more for good measure. Inhale up, pull the belly in. You might even feel like when you pull your belly in, that you've gone into a smidgen of pelvic tilt. That would be appropriate right now. Where is your shoulder in relation to your ear? Extend it away, reach through, turn the head because it helps you to get a little bit further, and relax. Offset the legs. You decide if you want to open up this back leg and lean. Massive. If you can find a way to use this other hand to help you pull into your stretch. Sometimes when we pull over, though it's this far side that gets the stretch, we end up kind of getting cramped up in this hip over here. This mass kind of, one, gets in our way, and two, has its own sensation in it. So don't be distracted by that. Release and relax. If you can stay with me for this last stretch, okay? It is by far, I want to say it's one of Marlene's favorites. And not only that, it is good for our chest expansion. So think figure 4. So one leg comes up, right? The arms start on a diagonal line. Open yourself up as you're rolling yourself to this open position. Just adjust the hands so that both hands end up palms up. Are you now in an unsupported head position? Hopefully your towel or your pillow isn't too far away from you. I'm going to go ahead and just put mine under my head, because I want to be able to control my chin, the angle of my chin, right? I don't want it up to the ceiling. I want to be looking forward. And now, does the knee need to stay on the floor? What? It doesn't. Use your toes to help push your body to its most open, comfortable line. trying to wiggle yourself into a point where your arms are comfortably wide, no strain in the shoulder. And if that far arm is like way off the floor and it hurts because there's so much weight pulling into the stretch, then I want you to put your fingers on your shoulder and just let your elbow be out there. Okay. Ideally, your arms are on like this V taper, reaching through the stretch. At some point, stop fighting. Relax the glutes, relax the abs. As you relax the shoulders, if the hands kind of slide down to a different angle, wherever it goes is where it needs to be. A few more seconds. What I love about this massive stretch is the dominant stretch is taking place through the chest and the shoulder. But just having this leg crossed over, you should feel like your rump is getting those muscle fibers just elongated, right? A few more seconds. Taking that far arm, releasing the pressure off of that arm, closing it in. I want you to roll yourself face down. Let the arms shoot off in the other direction. Pull that leg up. Get nice and high with that leg, okay? And then start the opening phase. Pull your towel or your pillow into its assist position. Feel yourself use your elbows to help get your back rotated. And in that process of you trying to rotate through the thoracic spine, you might end up getting an adjustment. So your chin, there's always like adjust, 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 and then follow back up with setting your head in the right spot, right? Does your knee, is your knee hitting the floor? Nope. Mine's probably, I don't know, 4 to 6 inches off. I don't care. My toe is on the floor. So my foot, I'm using my foot to brace myself. If you're getting too much stretch, like it's just beyond comfortable through the back of that hip, then you're going to maybe raise the foot from the floor and offload that hip. And you might have to float the leg up to take all of the stretch out and then gently back down. And this might be a moving stretch for you instead of static hold. Okay. It feels really good either way. If you're wondering which version is the best version for you, try picking the leg up, getting it up high enough where you feel your shoulders kind of float to the floor comfortably. And then you can use the weight of your leg to leverage your stretch. At what point is the stretch too much for your shoulder, right? And your hip? Your body will tell you. Now, take the pressure off the far reaching arm, close back in, roll yourself to your belly. You're going to finish with that cobra. All right, take your time. Don't adjust quickly. We've just come out of a massive rotation stretch. Let your body settle back into its flat position of at least getting the hips squared up. Tops of feet pushed to the floor, elbows wide, hands wide, shoulders out of the ears, load the palms. Bring the elbows down, pull them in nice and tight and start bolstering yourself up. Walk the elbows back, transition to palms to the floor so you're in tabletop. Go into maybe your cat back for a moment. And as you release the cat back, set the toes for downward dog. Stubbing, lifting, driving. And then walk the hands back. Get those feet flat before you start rolling up, or you might end up unbalanced. Come up, take your deep breath. Lift and breathe. Where are we? Time always gets away from me. So I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much.